Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Marital Toolbox. Before we get started, I just want to let you know that you can call in. The number is 216-298-1554. That number again is 216-298-1554. Please, if you have any questions while we're on, you're welcome to hit up our pages and send your questions, share comments on everybody's page, because everybody's definitely looking at their page. Yes. So we will get to the comments and we will answer them in the timing that we have. And I just want to always say and just keep in mind that no question is off limits. No question is off the table. We are here to answer it the best that we know how, from biblical, from experiences, from wisdom, because sometimes wisdom speaks louder than anything, intuition, and different things like that. So we will answer it the best way that we know how. We're not saying that we got all of the answers to all of the solutions to the problem, because it also takes you doing the work too. Once we answer the questions, and you have to applicate those things too, in whatever solutions we try to give. But anyway, welcome to the toolbox. And let's begin. How's everybody doing? Everybody's doing good. Everybody doing good.
Doing good.
Good. I had an interesting day today, but it's all right. Of course, it's okay. It's really okay, but I'm just happy to be here, and just happy to be here doing a marital toolbox, and stuff like that. But anyway, we're gonna get right on into our topic on tonight. I really don't have a topic. Maybe the ladies will come up with a topic, but basically it's just really just communication at the end of the day. Something that we just always address when it comes to marital relationships. Communication is a big thing in marriage.
Yes, it is.
If the communication breaks down, the love breaks down, there's the respect, the support, the desire. You said it, the passion, everything.
Communication glues everything together.
Everything breaks down, because communication is how we communicate with each other. And I even go and say this, even what's the book, The 5 Love Languages? That's even communication. So even if I'm not telling you I love you, but all of this stops, and I'm not holding your hand no more. Even if am I looking at you, if all of that's the communication, the attention, and you stop telling me I look pretty, or I stop saying, oh, you look handsome, or I'm not noticing you no more. Those are little silent communication indicators also too. So when all of that stops, the relationship is pretty much going down.
Exactly.
So, but anyway, we just had something here. My sisters told me to break it down. Because they said if I read it, it's gonna be too long, so I have to break it down. So anyway, I have a and I pray that she's watching. Hopefully, her and her husband is watching, because I want to say, I know sometimes our topics seem like they could cater to women, but they really don't. They cater to both sides. But I find that in marriages, when having counseled a lot of marriages, it's more of the females that really have more of the issues than the male partners, because men they tend to, it's like, it's black or white. It's
they'll put it in a room and close the door.
And we're women, we go and open the door, okay, no, what did you put in that room? That don't belong there. So they don't kind of deal with the belonging there. They don't kind of deal with, like, if it's not broke, now it can be broke to pieces to us all day, but to them, okay, we'll just glue it back together. But us, we got, first of all, how did it get broke? I don't want to deal with that. Just put it together, So they not as detailed and as we are, so it's really just. But anyway, the topic at hand, and like I said, maybe they'll come up with a topic or something, but it is communication.
That's the topic.
That's the topic.
That's the
right.
topic.
Well, that's the communication. Right. The issue here, many parts. We've been talking about communication since we started. But the scenarios here is this is a marriage that's been married for some years now, and they have an on and off love love relationship. One minute I love, one minute I don't.
Right.
But it all stems from communication when there's a shutdown. So when there's kind of like a shutdown in a nutshell, and I hope I'm explaining the right, Precious. You can tag me, and I pray that you're watching.
No, that's not the name. She was just saying it.
Yeah, I was just what?
I get you.
No.
Oh,
No, she thought that. She said. I said no. That's not the name. She just addressing it like
right?
that.
Yeah, I'm just addressing it like that.
not Precious.
Yeah, no.
It's like she said, sweetie, or,
No, the person
That's
is
not her name.
anonymous unless they reveal themselves on the page. They are
Right,
always
right,
anonymous.
right.
So anyway,
She just said. I heard.
thanks, Luana. No, so the thing is, once everything break down the communication, they tend to separate.
Right.
And so, but then they find out that they love each other and they go back and forth. But bottom line is, they're tired. She's tired. Okay, let's just read the bottom part. I'm tired. Let's read the ending. Can I read the ending, y'all?
Go ahead, sis. Read the ending. We said that. Read the ending.
Yes, that's the main part.
Right.
Okay, I start from here. Okay, let's start from here because this is a good beginning because this is where her breakdown went on. They was in love in the beginning, everything was fine. But then she say, as time went on, life, careers, children, things looked like they were starting to change when all of those different dynamics starting to come in. And she said we became
That's
more.
weird.
She said they became more strained, which those things can strain.
Right.
She said more strained than there was together. Then the separation started to happen. Back and forth, our love went. When we're good, it's good. When it's bad, it's bad. And then she say, "Here we go again." And I'm tired of the back and forth. We try, but when it gets too much, we just walk away. Many times it's our children that makes us want to try. That makes us want to try. Our issue is, like I say, she says she feels communication. He feels just leave well enough alone, and we can make it. If we can just get through a conversation without walking away. She says nothing else major, and I know that probably nothing else major, anything like that. Just a silent partnership, but for real, I'm tired. It's emotionally draining, which it can be. It's emotionally draining. I love him, but I think this is the last time, and I guess that means the last time for the back and forth. And then she put children or no children.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. I'm just,
Okay.
so we know that the children seem like it's the glue. It's like really when they separate, it's like, okay, the kids, oh my God, okay, I got to think about the children, so okay, let's try it again, which is majority of the time when before a big divorce even come, if it's children involved, you're always going to think about the children. But anyway, let's talk about, and I know we've talked about this before, the variables, like she said, is strain, life, careers, children, and just things happen. Just life happens that put a strain, and these things will put a strain on a relationship.
Right. Especially if you're delving more into those things than into your own relationship. Because it seems, not only does it seem like it's a communication issue, but it seems like a commitment issue.
Exactly.
Okay, that's good.
It seems like they're more committed to things that are on the outside of their marriage than committed to each other.
Right.
And it also seems like the children are the only reason
glue.
why
The only
they're
reason why,
committed.
yes.
So we need to go back
Not a good reason.
to the beginning of the relationship and find out what was it that brought them together.
Exactly.
What
Yes,
exactly was it
What
before
was
the
it?
children came around?
Yeah.
What was it that brought them together?
Right.
And then from there, maybe we can break
Go
down
back to the basics. Yeah.
and find out.
Because she said it was like,
what happened.
I didn't write it all what she was
Yeah.
saying, but in just talking to her in general, it was like, you know how you are when you first married. It's just a
course.
high. You just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a euphoric moment.
It's a
There's no
honeymoon period. You
kids.
still
There's
in the
no.
honeymoon.
There's no nothing,
Right.
and there's no. And the thing is, I didn't put in here now. The career, they always had the career, so they always was working. But I think when the children started, the children and different other things start happening, because you can be working and be fine, but now you got children, now you got to shift some things. It's daycare, it's other things, it's a lot of things that's happening that's just, just going on.
Yeah.
So,
And just like Sis said, if you go back to the beginning of the relationship, go back to the very beginning. And once again, we talked about this on a multiple times, numerous of times. What were you more committed to?
Right.
Because if you think about it, when you get married, think about it. It's still life. Life still goes on.
Life
But at the
will
same
still go
time,
on. Yes, it does.
in marriage, children come.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, they do.
Household come.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm
Bills,
saying? Everything
rent,
comes, so
mortgage,
it's still called
all
life.
that comes
So
up.
what were you committed to in the very beginning?
Right.
Now, if you got married just for convenience, then guess what? Somebody need to be on birth control.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you got married just for sex, then guess what? Somebody still need to be on birth control. If you got married just because you didn't want to be alone, somebody should have been on birth control.
That's true.
My thing of it is that, especially if you're not spayed or neutered, I remember saying, especially if ain't nobody, had no vasectomy or whatever the case may be, children comes. So therefore, you have to make up in your mind, listen, I'm marrying. I'm saying I do. I'm choosing my vows. And biblically, it says that multiply. When you get married, you're supposed to multiply. So that's pleasing unto God. Multiplying is pleasing unto God. But once again, bring it on back out the Bible. What were you committed to?
And it was something that you also said too. Like you said, go back to the beginning.
beginning.
Okay.
Why
Now
did I
that
get
we're in
married?
the beginning and now that we're in it, that's why I always say that counseling before marriage, it doesn't mean that everything is not going to get crazy when you get married.
Yeah, 'cause marriage is a
But
work.
if you do the counseling, you can pretty much map out or pretty much bring some type of balance. Like, how are you balancing it? Okay. Let's use the children per se. Like you talked about the children. Let's say the children per se.
Yes.
Okay. Is the strain? And I'll ask, and maybe maybe she might respond. I don't know. Is the strain because you feel like you're more responsible for the children, and because you got some marriages that is the wife or the mother always with the kids and the father's not so
Yes,
much.
that's
He's
true.
there,
Yes.
but he's not so much.
Right.
So is
Been
that
there, done
so?
that,
Is
yeah.
that a strain,
Right.
or
Right.
is it the strain of you trying to balance the career? Balance the children, balance the marriage.
By yourself.
Is it frustrate? What is it that balance? What did you talk about or
Right.
whatever?
But once
Right.
again, like you said, and we also said in the very beginning, now I know every marriage is different.
Right.
Don't
Yes.
get me wrong.
Right.
Every marriage is different. Let's just put this on the table real quick. We also said this. We said that you knew or you know what you're marrying before you marry them.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So if
That's
you
what you're
knew,
supposed to.
if you knew that
Absolutely.
career, or if you knew the outside world, or whatever that person loved or enjoyed before you got married, that was going to be a problem from the beginning. Then,
Right.
You knew this before you got married. Well, let's just use celebrities for a minute. Okay, models, Hollywood. Hollywood don't really look at let's have children. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Hollywood look at let's have money.
Right.
Do you
Yes.
understand what I'm
And
saying?
children come on a time.
Exactly. So therefore, if
Children is not
you
in the
look at
plan.
it like that, then guess what? My mind is we're only going to be basing ourselves on let's get this money before children come. So they knew that before they got married. So you have to know what you're get into, what you're saying I do to. You know already. But once again, sometime, I'm not trying to say that things don't happen, because guess what? You are in a honeymoon period in the very beginning.
Yes.
When we
Wow.
counsel couples, we
First
say,
5
listen,
years. Yes,
before
sir.
you get married, everything is peaches and cream. He's your
it
yes
is.
man.
Yes, it
You're his
is.
yes woman.
Yes.
You guys go
Yes.
everywhere together. He pulling out your chair, closing the door for you. You in a honeymoon period before the marriage. Then after the marriage, there's another honeymoon period. And then a few years after that, you still in the honeymoon period. But when real life sets in, what do you do about it? So what was real life to you? Was it the things that you were not committed to? Or was it the marriage? So what's real life in the marriage?
And then we also talked about too early on in our topics of coming together. We change as a people in marriage.
Yes, we do.
Yes,
You're not the
multiple
same. Okay, after
changes.
5 years of marriage, you're not the same person you
as you
are
was
when you
before.
first got married, and then
Right.
10 years come in. You're not the same person 5 years ago from
That's
the 10
right,
years,
sis.
and then you got 15. You're not the same. Things, things change,
continuously.
and when
Yes.
you get all of these variables in, it'll change you. It change how I
It
see my
should.
husband. It change how my husband see me.
Right.
It'll change my sexy. When I
Yes.
got a bunch of kids pulling on me and I got career, who's cooking? So my thing is, I know it's communication, but where
working.
is the balance? The balance is breaking
working.
down somewhere.
Right.
It's something else
Communication.
But what the balance always
is-
broke.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
that could be it too. Something is wrong. That
Right.
it's something
Now,
off. Where
right.
if you see the child hanging on my hip, and you say, "Here, babe, let me come take the child from you."
Right.
Okay. Is there a working together?
Right.
Are
Togetherness,
you
like you said,
working
a union.
together?
A real
Working
union.
together to help. To help
Balance
each
it
other.
out.
It's a lot of things that
It
could.
is.
It's a lot of
There's
things
so
that could
many
be
different
this.
variables when you come talking
It's
about
a lot
that
of things that could
because
be with this.
when you're talking about commitment and you're talking about communication, you got to think of it as, okay, what's my mindset? How am I physically feeling? And if you are in Christ, how am I doing spiritually? And then how am I ministering to my spouse?
Right.
Physically, mentally, and physically, because of the way that things go in different relationships. When you do have to go back to the beginning, because we don't know how long they've been married,
Right.
but if you go back to the beginning and you start breaking down everything, okay, there's bills that got to be paid. So how are we going to pay these bills?
Stressors. I like that. Stress.
We got mortgage, rent that got to be
Strain,
paid.
stress.
We got the kids that got to go to different daycare schools, got to go to different appointments. If the children have different issues, okay, we got to go through that. And now how are we going to communicate and talk about all of these things? Can I communicate with you? Can we sit down and talk? Can we have a talk one of these days in which we could talk about the bills? Can we talk a couple of these days about what's going on with our kids? Can we talk one of these days about what's going on with us? Hey, how about we go on a date night? Let's go out together, just you and I, and we could just chill in another atmosphere, in another place in which we could be comfortable in speaking to each other about different things, about our love languages, about how we care about each other, about how our heart is, where our relationship lies.
Can I ask a
If
question?
that's,
When
go
you're
ahead.
done? I want to know. Okay, I was going to wait till you're done. I just wanted to put that out there before. And I just ask one question about the couple, because in that way that can give us an avenue and really how to hit this thing, even though we may come back. Is this couple in Christ or not?
In Christ.
Okay.
In Christ.
Okay.
They in Christ. And one thing I wanted to comment on what you said. I wondered, what do you ladies think about this? I know in the beginning of my marriage, I had to come to know after a while, being in a marriage and conversing with my husband and trying to communicate with my husband, that one, I was communicating to a man.
Yep.
Yes.
And he was not my girlfriend.
That's
he's
it.
Not,
He's
he's
not
not.
your-
He's not my
That's right.
sister.
That's right.
He's not a female.
That's it.
He's looking at it totally
he's
different.
he's looking at from a
can't
whole
castrate
nother
him.
Whole
whole
nother
nother
avenue.
perception. So
Yep.
in my mind, so while I'm talking 20 miles an hour, 1,000 miles,
He only got one
he
word.
only processing one
thing.
word,
That's it.
one word
That's it.
out of the 20,000 things I said. So he's not like I'm sitting here talking to my girlfriends and. Like
if
we
you-
all can talk at the same time, and you can answer everybody.
That's right.
We can answer. Okay, Victoria. Okay,
Yeah.
Marie. Okay,
Yeah.
Luana.
Yeah.
We can answer
Yeah.
everybody,
Right.
but I had to learn that. Okay. I would see sometimes my husband over. So I'm saying this for a reason, baby, because maybe it's how you approaching your husband.
Exactly.
He's not your girlfriend. So maybe we gonna come from that perspective too. Like
And
you're
he's not a
talking,
boy.
he's not a boy, and he's not your son. So that could be some stuff too. So I want to approach it from the way. So I had to realize when I'm talking to my husband that after a while,
He can't comprehend everything at one time.
I started seeing smoke come out his ears. It was like overload. So he was not my girlfriend. So I had to approach and I had to understand, okay, I done said about 20,000 things.
And
he's only going to answer one.
And if you ain't looking right, he ain't heard that.
Right, because he's still, because he's looking at my exterior.
That's it.
So
that's true.
It could, so for him to always shut down and not want to talk about it, maybe it's how you approaching him. Maybe, and we're not even going to get into disrespect factor or anything, because whether you disrespect him or not, men are visual and they're going to, like you said, if I'm talking, if you're talking to him looking like this, the conversation is over. You're just talking to yourself. Because he already that look already makes him feel like he's judged. You already judging him. And then how are you talking to him? Are you talking to him like a little boy, or you should help me, with these kids, or whatever. But it's a reason why he's shutting down, and you have to get to that. And the only way you're gonna get to know baby is why he's shutting down. If you pray and you ask God for some strategy so you can at least penetrate, so you can at least get a conversation. If you could, like Sis said, if you got to take him to get some pancake, if you got to stroke him touch him while you talking.
Sometimes it might have to be pillow talk.
Right, you right.
But at the same time, while you're praying though, while you're praying, don't always take the issues of him. What about if you got the issues?
Right.
Because I read on there one point that the person, when it was given, the person said, the spouse said, leave well enough alone.
Leave well enough alone.
So therefore, that's going back to what you were saying.
Too far.
Hear everything you were saying.
We have a tendency not to let things go. We like pit
bulls.
Yes.
We are. Once we get a hold, if we don't get the answer that we think we should have, then we'll revisit that thing over and over again. So I can see until you get the answer, and it might not be the answer. He might be trying to spare her feelings.
Right.
Not saying that it's the correct way to do it, but he might not want to spew some things at her. So that's why he might be saying, leave well enough alone. So she's going to have to learn how to figure out what's tissue issues and what stuff we really need to talk about. Because some things you just need to wipe, throw it away, and keep it moving.
And then
but a person is not going to, I told y'all I've been in this situation before. We both were not communicating because he felt I was disrespecting him and I felt he wasn't loving me. So nobody was getting nothing. Because if you ain't going to respect me, I ain't about to love you. You know what I'm saying? So
and you do that tit for tat. You really
do. You go back and forth, and you hit a wall because nobody feels like they're getting what they want. Like y'all said, they got to go back to basics. First of all, you need to ask yourself, why did I marry him? Why did I marry her? And then you got to figure out a way to communicate, like Sis said. You got to deal with it one thing at a time. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. You ain't got to deal with every issue all at once. You might have to write a letter and say, listen, since we can't talk, how about we do this? How about you write down? Exactly.
Yes.
Since we can't seem to communicate without walking away, because that's what she said, how about we do this? How about every week, every month, or whatever it is, we write some notes down. You might not get the man to write a letter. He might jot some notes down, though. You might have to write a letter and you say, here, you got a week or whatever y'all decide on to read this. I'm going to read mine, and then we're going to come back to the table and talk about it. If we can't talk about it, write your response. As long as communication is happening.
And we talked about this, which is very rarely talked about. Counseling. What is a goal? Listen.
I'm going to tell you what's wrong with counseling. It's an African-American taboo.
Yes.
It is. And most men are not going to, most African-American men are not going to get counseling. I don't want nobody in my business like that.
And that's true.
African-American men don't go to the hospital until it ain't working.
Yes.
Well, I had that
physically. So they not going to go to counseling because it's a taboo. Why they got to be all in my business? That's just like saying, let's go to child support. Why you got to be all in my business? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I got a comment. I want y'all to see if y'all answer. This is from Tanya. She said, how you come, in which we are talking about, I believe we are hitting, how you come to him is just as important as when you come to him.
Right.
Timing, I like that. Timing is everything.
Yeah.
Talking to God Lord, y'all help. Y'all know I don't know why I'm trying to act like I can see.
That comment.
Talking to God. This she on my page.
Okay, gotcha.
Talking to God first will prep you when you talk to Him.
That's right.
And what to say to Him, which is true. I like that part
That's
what she
true,
said.
like you
Thank you,
said.
Tanya. Timing. We talked about timing.
I just got home from work.
like
Don't come at me. I just
and
got
then,
home from
but
work.
listen to what you said, which was
Right.
important. What you said. He said, "Leave well enough
leave well
alone."
enough
Yeah, leave well enough
Maybe
alone.
that's not the time.
And maybe
to
and
deal
maybe
with
that's
it.
not maybe the issue you have is not an issue for him.
That's another thing. When does it? Like we said, men. They see it, we can see it broke, but to them, just put glue together. Why we got to go buy another one?
Right.
Just put the glue on it and put it back on the table. But no,
Right.
I want another one. I want to fix it. And I want to.
Yes, can we not say stuff
Yeah.
when you're in the midst of an argument?
Don't
you
give an
just
emotional
throw it out
Just
there.
throw it out there.
You know, you're just saying it all out there. You don't say it any other time.
That's an attack.
Unless you're in an argument.
And
That's an attack.
men feel easy. Men get so. Listen, I'll say this. I'll talk about me and my husband. Mm-hmm. From my experience with my husband, you would think that women are easily more offended. Men have more of an offense.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
They have more of
That's
offense
right.
and a
Just
defense
on today,
than
honey, with me and my husband.
woman.
Yeah.
You don't even know.
Yeah,
I'll be like,
because
all I said was.
Yeah, but in today's
Yeah.
world, because women
It's just-
are able to provide
happens.
almost everything for themselves, we make sure he know that.
Right.
Some of
Sure,
us are
some
guilty
women
of
do
making
do
sure
that.
he know I don't need you for nothing.
Right.
Who want to be in a relationship? You don't
you're
need me for
saying that
nothing.
to a man,
Right.
when you are telling, I do not care if you can get up and go do the same thing that a man can
Listen.
do. I don't care if you can put the same amount of hours in. I don't care if you can lift the same amount of weights. I don't care if you can make the same amount of money or greater than a man.
Mm-hmm.
When you come to a man like that, whether you're in
Listen.
Christ or not,
That's right.
that is a castration to
It
a
is.
man.
It is.
Because
Men
men want to be able to feel
Protect.
like they are the one that you
That's
need
right.
to depend on.
And that's
right.
how my husband.
Men
That's how
were
my
born
husband
to
is.
you understand what I'm saying?
I understand. That's how my husband is. He wants to, and like we talked about this all in our marriage when we first came in. Because I told you
Right.
my background. I think we all said,
Yeah.
I come from a background of independent women, a
Right.
strong mother.
You had to learn
so
how to let
I
that
had
go.
to learn
That's right.
how to allow my husband to
Be a man.
be a
Be
man,
the
and
man.
be my husband. Because look, if I say, okay, can you do this, and he don't do it, I'm behind him. Swoop.
Let me tell you.
And by the time he gets to, he's like, babe, you did that? Yes, I did it
No.
because I ain't have time to wait.
If
but
it's
that
your-
waiting on him to do it would have made him feel so validated.
It
Would have
would've.
made him feel so good that he did it.
Even
So,
in the
like
midst
you
of our
said,
frustration.
castrating.
Even if it's a man's job to pay
Right.
the light bill, let him pay it. If he don't pay it, it ain't gonna hurt you to sit in the dark for a few days. He won't pay it from now on.
Right.
But and then
Stop
the thing of it
taking the
is-
control from him.
And we have to understand, we as women, we can take on overload.
Right.
To a
Because
certain
we
extent.
multitask.
To a
Right.
certain
To a
extent.
certain extent.
That, not like to a certain extent, we
Right.
can take on over because the way that we were built. Okay.
Right.
Now, when it comes to a man, I'm not
can
trying to
I?
say that he can't take overload, but men take overload in a totally different way.
Yes,
so
they
when
do.
he said, or when she, especially when, let's say when he said it, because it was Roe. Listen, let's leave well enough alone.
Mm-hmm.
Well enough alone. When a man say that, leave it alone.
Leave it alone. He
Because
don't care.
now what
Okay.
happens is
Leave it alone.
the reason why he said leave well enough alone too is not just because he tried to hear it from you, but what we have to understand is what kind of day has he had?
Right.
How have you been presenting yourself to him?
Right.
While you're pointing the finger, you're not looking at yourself in the mirror. And my husband say that to me all the time. Let's just keep this thing
Right.
real.
Yeah.
Babe, I
Right.
love you. And yes, after 20 years of marriage, he said, you know what? You say X, Y, Z, but are you looking at Luana?
Right.
And sometimes I have
that
to
to you.
that's
They'll say
overload
that.
to a man. You
Yes,
understand what
that's
I'm
right.
saying? You have to think about, listen, you saying all this, that, and the other, but are you looking at you? So while you're coming to me and presenting this to me, what are you doing in the background?
Right.
How are you coming?
Right.
What type of attitude do you have? How much
And
are you
see-
putting on me? Are you
and
bringing
see,
up what
and
happened
that's-
2
that's
weeks
where
ago? Or
we
are we going
had
to
to
take care
learn.
of this situation right here? Because us women, we can do that. We can go back 2-3 weeks,
And it
months
don't have
ago.
to be taken care of right now.
Right.
Give it some
But
time.
see, that's where we had to learn in our marriage. And my husband, he's the one that likes to communicate a lot.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
whether it's be speaking, text, email,
Right.
calling, and he does call a great deal. So
Kevin does every 5
he
minutes.
calls a great deal. But see, if I don't hear from him, I'm so used to him calling. If I don't hear from him, I'm texting him back or I'm calling him back.
Right.
But I had to be the one in the relationship to come up in my communication.
Right.
To be able to speak a little bit more.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you got, like you said, you got to look at yourself and say, okay, he's talking more than I am.
Right.
We need to come to a way in which we can be in the middle.
Right.
Like he's speaking, I'm speaking. We can come to some kind of solution, agreement, problem solving, scheduling, whatever
They might
the
have to
case
come up with
may
a
be.
manual schedule. On Monday you cook,
But you
on
know
Tuesday
what?
we talk.
And
on
that,
Wednesday
and that goes back.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. It's more than
There's
communication.
numerous
It's
types of
balance. What type
communication.
of, you still have to and even they still got to find some type of balance, because if you got all these variables and different things, it sounds like they say it's a strain. And I'm sure these variables is called.
For what we want to make
That's
time
true
for.
too.
Yeah.
So like
Especially
I
as
said, you have to
those
do
we
the
do. That's
time.
true.
Yes,
you know
you do.
what?
That's
And then
true.
we have to look at too. I'm still stuck on this thing. Leave well enough alone. The reason why I'm stuck right there is because listen, I've been there. I've been there. I've been.
I think we
to
all
a-
been
you
there.
know, I've been
We
to
all
a
been
point to where I
there.
have pushed.
'Cause Kevin
I
would say,
have pushed my
Octavia.
husband. I have pushed my husband.
Octavia.
Listen, like on today.
in.
I just use this one example today. There's something in particular that I wanted to do. Okay, and then what I wanted to do particularly. Now my husband asked me in the beginning, "What do you want to do about it?" So what I said was, "It don't matter. Whatever you want to do."
Yeah, see that? And that's
Wrong
the first thing
words.
we say.
Wrong
That's the
words.
first
So
thing we
now,
say.
because I said
Wrong
whatever you want to
thing.
do,
Yes.
and now
That
that
puts it
I
back in
because
his-
so
Yes.
because
That puts it
I
back
said
in
whatever
his
you want to do,
hands.
now problem solved because he
Right.
did it the way
Exactly.
we both said whatever you want to do.
Wanna do.
So
Right.
now I'm not liking what's done. So now I'm like, well, I want to do it this way. And he said to me in a stern voice about 3 or 4 times, you don't know where. Wait a minute. He didn't say baby. He didn't say sweetie.
They call that
He didn't
name.
call me my
By the
nickname
name.
Call
Bubbles.
that name.
He said none of that. He said, Lawana, leave it alone.
Yep.
And I was like, but da.
Yep.
He said, Lawana,
No,
I said,
my
leave it
husband
alone.
calls me
Then I
by my
turned
middle
around and
name.
said, well, why are you talking to me like that? He said, Lawana, I said, leave it alone.
Leave it
And you know what I
alone.
did? I got in the car and I left it alone.
Left it alone.
I feel like in myself, I still want to say something else.
You do.
But I got to leave it
You
alone.
want to say,
So it's that communication thing. Come on.
But
But he said Lawana.
Yes.
He didn't say sweetie baby. He didn't say Miss Joe. He said Lawana, and he said it deep. Leave it alone. Okay, so I gotta.
You got it.
I gotta.
Right.
leave it.
And I know when my
Yes,
husband
yes,
is giving
yes.
me
Turn it on, though,
signals,
didn't
giving me signals to leave it alone, because his voice gets loud. It gets it gets louder than mine, and it gets escalated.
Yeah.
So when I hear his voice, when we in our now you'll be
That's
around us
knowing
and
your spouse.
you'll be around us and we playing and like,
Right, exactly, right.
But when we in a serious mode,
That's it.
I
Yes.
know when
Yeah.
to
husband
hone
kick
it in, and when
Yes.
his voice start getting louder and
yeah.
it start overtopping mine, I'm like, and then I'm trying to fight to get my voice
Yeah,
over
yeah.
his, and he's fighting to get his
And you
over
listen
mine.
like, wait a
I'm
minute.
like, okay. He said he'll call my name. He'll say Octavia. He say, look, I'm telling you,
Yep.
this is not the time right now.
Yep.
And of course I'm behind him. Well, when is the time? It ain't gonna never be time. If I wait for your time, I ain't gonna never have no time. And
Well,
he
when
like,
it comes
and he,
like
and
that,
when he go
when I
like
hear my
this,
childhood name,
he clap his hands. He say, Octavia, let it go. So I know I
Yep.
have to
Yep.
let it go. I have to
You got
stick
to.
my tail between my legs, and I have to go. So it hurt now I feel hurt
Of course.
because I'm like,
Yep.
I didn't say
didn't
all
get
what
the
I wanted to
last
say,
And now we the one who really caused it though. Now we don't want to make him go
caused it,
there,
right.
but now we hurt. But now we hurt. But we made him escalate.
but you done hurt my feelings.
And listen, and then
you want to apologize?
listen, and then we'll say, and then I say, well, why you acting like that?
Yeah.
You ain't have to yell at me. You ain't have to go
You know, I
there
said
like
that in the
that.
car. I said, why you talking to me like that?
Now, and like you just said, I pushed him there.
Yeah.
But now it's like, well, why did you say that?
And that's exactly what we're doing.
So like,
Exactly.
what we're saying is even it's so many things that could be in what this comment,
Right.
it is with the walking away. But my thing is, let's talk about that part, y'all. And I think we've already talked about it before. The walking away. You got to stay. You can't.
You
keep
just said
walking.
they were in Christ.
Yeah, they were in
So you
Christ.
gotta
So
stay.
you got to.
If he ain't beating you.
Somebody
What
has
is
to.
what is stopping this couple from working it out some way, shape, or form? That's my question to the person.
She said it's the
children.
communication
And it's the children.
and
And let me
a
tell
lot
you
of
something about
stuff.
this children thing.
The
She keeps
children
saying-
has nothing to
She
do
keeps
with
saying,
it.
I'm coming back because of the
doesn't.
children. But what example or what environment are you
putting your
setting
children
for the
in.
children?
Putting the children in.
Because they're going to
Right.
look
Yeah.
for the same type of relationship. That
That's
listen,
it.
listen. I think we all can minister right here about
Yes.
somebody that we know or
Yes.
some couples that we
Yes.
know right here.
Yes.
We tell them the same thing. Listen. You are affecting the children
Yep.
Yes.
in this situation
Yes,
because
yes,
what
you
you're
are.
doing, you're sending the children a message
That's
that
it.
this is normal. This is listen.
normal.
Life is life. Don't get me wrong. Life is normal, but what the chaos
This is not
that's
normal.
inside
It's
of the
not
relationship is not normal.
not
So
normal.
what are you having the children look up to? They're going to go out there and look for chaos.
That's it.
They're going to
Yes.
look at, well,
They're
I
gonna
need
look-
somebody
Well, that's
that we
how
can
my dad
argue
talked to
with
my mom.
24/7 and then come back together. No, don't get me wrong. My son, there are, to me, now this is the way I feel for my household. Once again, my household, there are disagreements. Let's not say
there's
arguments.
always-
There are
always
disagreements that the
disagreements.
children need
They
to
are
see.
going
Yes.
to see. Whether
The
we
reason
wanna
why
see
they
it
need to
here or
see
not.
them, they need to see them,
Here.
and the
Whether
reason
they
why they
want
need to
them
see
not
them because they need to
or
know
not.
how to come back together.
That's it.
Yes.
But they did not say they call each other names. But when you get to that point where the disrespect has set in, now you need to sit
That's-
back and you
yeah.
need to look
You
at the
need to
big
step
picture
back.
because now it's disrespect.
Yes.
It's not about just, look, honey, we'll talk about it later or let's just walk away. When a man tell you, leave well enough alone, and let me tell you something what could be dangerous. In that leave well enough alone, in that well enough alone, you need to hear this. You need to make sure that you still got that man's heart. Because when a
Yes.
man's heart
It's,
Yes,
is
it
far
is.
away
Yes,
from
it
you
is.
and it's
That's
gone,
it.
it's
Yes,
done.
it is.
It's
You
done.
better
You
leave
know,
well enough
and
alone and
listen.
continue to pray.
You done messed him up for everybody.
And then it was something that you also said too. When we're talking about the children, okay, the statement is okay. We're back and forth.
Right.
We come back together and we leave. Now my question is, Precious. You know, you didn't give me all. I didn't get all. That's not her name. You know, when you're doing that and you're separating and you're going, where are the children?
Right. Who the children
Who
with?
who the children going to? Who the children staying with in the midst of, you know, okay, we separating and then we come back together. We separate and then we come back
9
together.
times
We
out of 10,
separate
the
and we come
children
back
are with
together.
her.
And let me say this, and the children, and I did not ask this question, and I should have asked this question. And I pray that you're watching, babe. We talking about your life, babe, a little bit here. Evidently, the children must be young. They got to be young. And it's not that we don't worry about when the children are older when it comes to separation and divorce. But in order for you to keep coming back together, they have to be at a certain age that you're trying to cover them or something.
So
because
they're-
when they're
it can't
15,
be really
16, and
teenagers.
17,
Right,
yeah,
right.
it's you. Now, I'm not saying it's not a problem because that is a concern. But evidently, you're thinking about, okay, you're still in the process of raising children.
Right.
If you're still talking about, okay, let me come back together for the children.
the children,
So
yeah.
you're still in the process of raising these children. These children cannot be 17, 18,
Right,
19, and 60. They can't be
Right,
teenagers.
right.
They have to be
Right,
children.
right.
Because there's a concern. I hear the concern of, okay, wait a minute. Okay, let me get back together because we're still
Wow.
raising these children together and we still growing it and grooming them. So you must be, this is my thing, you must be still in the process of raising these children, that you will keep coming back together for the children. Because I'm not saying you don't do it for teenagers, but it's very rare that you keep fighting. If you know the marriage is dead or something, that you're fighting for a 16, 17, 18 or 19-year-old.
Wow.
These got to be children that are still
True.
coming up young,
know
elementary or younger than that.
You know what, sis?
It has to be.
This is a question that I have to put out there. We don't know the couple.
Right.
We know only you know. We don't know the couple. We have never seen the couple, maybe. Whatever the case may be. But there's a question, especially if this couple or this young lady is watching. The question is, where is the love?
Right.
The reason why. Are you still in love with one another? Because you said we only come back. Now, I'm just what you said. We only come back because of the children.
Yeah.
So therefore, you're sleeping. I want to use it. I'm going to say this word, but that doesn't mean you are. You're sleeping with the enemy.
Right.
The reason why, because there's no love.
Right.
So guess what? I'm not trying to say the enemy like you all hate each other. I'm not saying that.
Right.
But obviously you're not fitly joined
not in love
because
with
there's
each
no
other.
love.
Now she did. Now I like what you're saying too. So you're saying something that's very important. You're saying that there is no love, but at the end of a conversation, end of the text
She
that she
said,
said,
"I
she
love
said,
him."
"I love him."
It's
She
a
said,
diff-
"But
I love
emotionally,
you too.
I can say
no, I'm saying what you're saying could be plainly true.
children
Yeah.
are not.
True that
She's
it could-
tired.
She's saying maybe she love him enough to try to work it, but what you say, it may not be no
Right.
in love,
Right.
and it goes back to what I said. You're still in the process of raising these babies, and you don't want to be found raising them on your own. So you're trying to make, but then you're trying to make it work for the kids, because now we don't even know. I don't even know from the text. Are the kids saying something?
And then just check this out.
Are the kids feeling something?
Where is the accountability at? Where is it? Because if you listen, if this is to anybody, not just this couple, but anybody that's in this situation, if you are still basing your relationship, I'm only there because of the children, then guess what? You are going to be held accountable for that.
Right.
How am I going to be held accountable for that? First of all, because even though people have, but we cannot keep on making excuses, because guess what? Now we putting pressure on our children.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's
so
true.
now the children,
That's true.
if you're saying
that's
that, look
true.
at what you're doing to the
Now the
children.
kids
So
are
now the
thinking,
children
oh
are
my
thinking
God, I
like, well,
gotta
if my
stay
mother
good,
and my
Lord.
daddy leave, was it because of me? Now
That's
that's more
true.
pressure on the children.
Unfortunately, something being said to them children in the midst of
But
the
see, that's the
separating
thing, though.
too. Yeah.
It
So
has
what's
to
being
be.
said?
Yeah.
So therefore,
Because
now we got this on the children.
We know the children. I don't know what if they at that. They got to be at the age to ask. Okay, you don't have to be that old to say, "Where's my mommy? Where's my
Right,
daddy?"
exactly,
You don't have to have full
exactly.
prolonged
Right.
sentences, but you are going to say, "Where's my mommy?
If you
Where's
don't
my
see
daddy?"
it,
And
profile.
you have to give an answer.
Right.
Well, guess what you
have
said in
to
your
say
anger? Come
something.
on, I'm leaving your stupid daddy.
Right.
Or come on, we ain't
Somebody-
got to
yeah.
stay here. Or, you
Or
probably
what the
saying
husband
right.
saying is your
Exactly.
mama.
Not just
Okay,
the-
is
yeah,
your
not just the
mama.
but
You got to
both
talk
of
to
them.
your mama. Because you
Right.
know, men, they only one-liners. I don't
Right.
care what you say.
on.
We can say 10 things. They only going to say one thing.
Right.
And that's
Period.
just it at the if we get a period, sis.
Right.
That's it. If we
Let
get a period.
Right.
Let me try to be an advocate also, because I was also thinking on another area of this relationship. If they are trying to stay together because of the kids, there's got to be something in which she feels like, okay, I'm staying with him. This is one of the reasons why I'm staying with him. He's a good daddy. He's a good provider for the kids. So maybe we can work it out
That's a
still.
good point. That's a good side to look
So
at.
that
Yeah,
I'm
but
trying to
if
be an
I'm gonna make it
advocate
That's
here
depression. That's
to
depression.
It
see
is.
if there's another area
Right.
of this, because we don't know who this is. We don't know exactly their lifestyle except for what she wrote on the text. So I'm trying to advocate here, not only on that side, which is very important, but on the side of, okay, she's trying to think of the reasons and ways that she sees in him that she does
Maybe
still
she's trying to
love,
find that
or
love, something she's
there's
trying
something
to-
that she's
trying to
she feels
hold
that
on
okay,
to.
yes,
But it gotta be
I
two
know
people.
that I know he.
But you know how
that's
women
true.
are. We
I
gotta
know.
talk about women.
But but
that's
she's
true.
the
You
one
know
that
how
I'm
we
trying to go
are,
with
though.
that.
But you know how women are. we're just nurtured by you know how women are. Think about
very
I can go
emotional,
back
like
to
we
relationships
said.
before I came to Christ. I didn't care what he was. I just loved him, and
yes, we
like
were.
my oldest daughter,
was
my
a
oldest
hot
daughter's
mess.
father. You know, it took me literally, and I knew everything that he was doing. I knew it, and I knew everything, and I'm saying something in this. I knew everything that he was doing because I'm making a point of how we just hold on and we just feel like I knew everything he was doing, but because I didn't see it. It wasn't visual to me, but I knew what he was doing when he was away. But because it wasn't in my face and it wasn't visual, as long as you're taking care of your child and you're and I feel that you're loving me the way that I think that you're loving me and I'm loving you, it's fine. It took me really having to get hurt. And the thing is, I already knew what he was doing, you know, when I had my daughter and a girl, his sister came and said another girl was around the corner. She was having the baby the same time.
Right.
You know, when I was, was getting ready to deliver, when I delivered too. So that thing, although I knew what he was doing, but I don't know why I all of a sudden got hurt when a baby came involved. Like, I don't know what, I just got
that's
hurt.
another part of you.
Yes.
But I should have been hurt all along because he was
right.
doing what he was. But I'm saying all that to say this. I understand what you're saying. It's just something, we just find that little thing. If we can find that, I always look for that little hope of glints in him. Like, okay, if I do something different, he'll stop cheating, he'll stop doing this, he'll look at me. Okay, if I be that girl, first of all, I was already a church girl because I went to church. Don't mean I was in church, but I was a church girl. He knew So if I just be that one, you know how they say, what's that one they say, Luana, y'all probably, okay, I'm the one you bring home to mama, but them other ones you don't bring. I was the one you bring home to mama. But them other ones you don't bring home to mama.
I
bring home. I'm the one you bring home to mama because she gonna love me. The mother like me, everybody like me, but I'm like, well, what is it? But I'm saying all this.
You were the wife.
That's the reason why, though.
You stick and you try to find that little more, that morsel of something, that hope. So I'm just saying that to say maybe that's what she's looking, trying to find that.
And I do understand that. I do understand advocacy about doing that. But sometimes what we have to really look at, just like you said, sis, just like you said, you knew what he was doing.
Right.
Okay.
We all do.
Even in the marriage.
We do.
You knew what you're getting into before you said I do. And even though we try to hold on to that thing, and just like she said, holding on to the children is not one of the reasons, because now you're damaging the other part.
Right.
And I know somebody that was living a double life. Okay. And I had to go to that individual and I told them, as much as I love you, I don't condone what you're doing.
Right.
But because you are a part of me, I'm going to still love you.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But I don't condone what you're doing over here.
Right.
I still could not stop that person from doing what they were doing. But just to let you know, I don't agree with it. You understand what I'm saying? And I even told the individual, you're not just hurting one person in this.
Right.
You're hurting everything that's attached to that individual.
Yes.
So that's one thing that the parents have to look at.
Yeah.
You have to look at, you're hurting everything that's attached. You understand what I'm saying? And in that hurting, now this person got to know how to process this. This person got to know how to process this. This person got to know how to process that. Right. It's a process. So we have to know. We have to search our own selves. Even coming back to just it's a communication thing, we have to really look at our own self in the mirror.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. We can advocate for this young lady. We can advocate for the young man. But at the end of the day, look at yourselves in the mirror.
Right.
And really point the finger back at yourself, because guess what? You're not the innocent one in this situation.
Nobody.
Nobody is.
I want to close this last 10 minutes out, and I want us to talk about, okay, there's the back and forth, right? Okay.
And she's tired.
She's tired. Okay, but I want to get to that.
Is he tired?
I want to get to that back and forth.
That's what I'm saying.
I want to talk. What you know? What I could. My answer to that question is when he said, "Leave well enough alone." So
not
either he
tired.
might be checked out.
Oh, yeah, he already checked.
He could be checked
might
out,
have checked
or
out
he,
already.
That's what I'm
every
saying. Is he
time,
tired?
every time they come back together, she trying to. Is that what he say all the time? They come back
Right.
together, leave well enough and all.
Right.
So he could have been checked out, and he like, yeah, okay, well let me try because she want to try. So we don't know. But this last 10 minutes, I want to talk about the dangers of this also too, because there's a dangerous side to this too. Because to keep going back and forth, after a while, I'm gonna start looking for what I want. But I'm still married. And if I start looking for what I want, okay, now I got other trouble. I got infidelity. Now I got other things. Now I got other occasions that I'm opening up for my marriage. So if we keep going back and forth now, I'm gonna find what I want after a while. I'm gonna look for what I want after a while. So that's also, let's talk about that. So that's also a danger of it too. And men, and I have to say this, men are more vulnerable than women. They can say we vulnerable all they want.
What? Come on.
But you
they
get
could
a
be very
man at the
vulnerable.
wrong time. You get a man at opportunity, occasion.
Cause like you said, listen,
You get a man at the wrong time.
unfortunately, it's a sister in that church.
Come
That's
on
watching how many
here.
times
It ain't
y'all
just in the
separated.
church,
No,
baby.
at
It's
work, anywhere.
It's anywhere.
These last 10 minutes. Let me
Exactly.
give you this quick story.
Right.
Let me tell you about
you
that.
get
about
that wrong
vulnerable.
woman that
You
just
got that wrong. Come
at
on,
the
let me
cubicle.
talk.
What's the matter? Hey, what's the matter?
Right.
That's it.
Exactly.
That's all you need.
Well, if I
Exactly.
was your woman, I wouldn't treat you
Right.
like
That's
that.
all you need.
And then now she rubbing the bald head. Oh,
That's
sorry, man.
right.
I'm sorry. Man, I know I have a bald head, but that just put me somewhere.
My brother,
So real quick,
Somebody
even
paying
with that right
attention.
there, let me tell you something. A few years ago, mad at my husband, blah 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 blah. Called myself, I'm finna leave you. Went to New Jersey for about a week. I was gone. Needed some blood pressure medicine, so my husband had to go. Ran out of blood pressure medicine. So now, mind you, we had got into a real tough. I mean, this was years ago, y'all. I mean, at least about maybe
It
9,
don't
10 years
matter
ago,
if
but
it
it was
was a
years
year
ago.
ago.
And this is my thing.
It's still
Listen,
present.
he went to the drugstore, okay, blah blah blah, to get my prescription, okay. So he told me the story. Bottom line is, it was another meow,
That's it.
another meow,
Look at that camera one more time.
another meow. It was another meow, and was saying, "How you doing?" Mind you, he said that I seen her, but she was in line after me. I said, no, she was in line before me. I said, oh, for real? So what happened was she waited till you came out of the line, and then she presented herself to you, came to the car and said, how are you?
Wow.
Oh, wait, now I'm in New Jersey. Mind you, we done already did whatever we did. I'm ready to take a red dot, a red eye, back to Cleveland. I'm ready to take a red eye. So he done, but the thing of it is, and then she asked him, are you happily married? But see what the enemy do?
That's the question.
See,
Are
Smiley.
you married?
See-
Yes.
see-
Are you happy?
And then guess what? But you see how they smell it out though?
Yeah.
She smell it out because in some kind of way it's just that thing that attracts
That's
them.
it, that's
and
it.
guess what? So he said something else to her like, yeah, I'm happily married. But at the time he knew he wasn't. But check this out though. I said, you know what? When she began to write her phone number down, I said, you communicated with her too long.
That's right.
Your conversation was too long with her for her to begin to write her phone number down. He said, I backed up, almost hit somebody, and that's how I know it was. I said, yeah, it was bedtime. When she asked you, was you married? You said, yeah, window should have went out, and that should have been it right there. But when you stayed with your foot on the brake for a minute, so
Yeah,
my point of
you
what I'm
thought
telling
about
you,
it. Yeah.
be careful, because there's some other meows out
And
here.
you're right.
It ain't just me. Let me tell you
Listen
something.
to what you
It's
listen to
not-
what
it
you
could
just
be either
said.
way.
She said that he still did too long, but you just said something that was key. He thought about
He
something.
thought
He
about
thought
it.
about it.
Come on.
He
Of
thought
course,
about
he thought
it.
about it.
Because why
Come
you still
on.
holding that
Why you still
conversation?
Right.
Your
He
conversation
was
was too
thinking
long.
about something.
But
on.
it's not just women that ask you. My friend had a conversation with a young man the other day, and she said, "Are you married?" And he said, "Yeah." She said, "Okay." She backed up. You know, the next time he saw her, because they see each other quite frequently, he said to her, "You didn't ask me if I was happy."
See, because he was ready. He was ready.
He was ready.
I'm sorry, he was ready.
No, he was ready. No, he was
Yeah,
ready.
he was ready.
He was ready.
He was ready.
He was ready to
And so
roll.
He ready.
Expecting for that
That's,
young lady
and she
to
said,
back
"That's
up
not my
after he
concern." He
yes.
said, "Well, I'm not." So it's just not women that ask that.
Exactly. It's not just women.
So concerned that now this is a question. Are you married? And it's the second part. Why is it the second part to this question nowadays?
Right.
Why is that the second part? It don't matter if I am or not.
And you know the thing
I don't look happy.
It don't matter if I am or not.
I'm saying is you asking that. Okay, what is my disposition that you would have to ask me?
That's not the case.
That thing.
Am I happy?
I'm gonna beg to differ.
At least a lot of people, a lot of young ladies, they will come and say, well, sweetheart, I could see something about you that, you know, even if they do say that they are happily married, I could see something about you that's just not right.
But I think
So
it's
I just
individual.
wanted to just check you out and just make sure
But
that you're okay.
men sniff it out more than women, though. Men will sniff it out more than they sniff that thing out more than women, though. Yes,
They try to.
They'll ask you anyway.
Yeah, they don't care because they don't have no fear.
They're
They
gonna
have no
keep
respect and they
asking
have
no matter
fear.
what.
and see what I know about with a married person, it's not no commitment. Slam bam, go home.
That's it.
But if I got it, I'm not gonna have no affair with no single person, because then I got commitment.
Unfortunately,
I got oh my God.
There are people out here that seek out married individuals.
Yeah.
But
Right.
hold on, let me stop you right there. What Kevin do when he get
Kevin go like
Yeah,
this.
I
He
know.
go, Octavia.
right now, these last couple minutes, let me tell you something. I just really believe that the people that listen, I done took a poll on it. These women or these men that's out here just
LaWanda
seeking.
said she just took a poll on it. We didn't get no feedback or nothing, but she got a poll.
Let me type this out.
Listen, these ones that's out, because I know a few. These ones that's really out here talking about that they only want a married person, it's a lie. And
No,
most
they
of it
want
is a
their
lie.
own
They
commitment.
want their own commitment, but
Yes,
the thing
they
of it
do.
is they have been hurt so many
Yes, they
times
do.
that they feel like they don't
Yes.
deserve it. So that's why they go after married people.
Yes, because it's no commitment.
Because it's no commitment.
It's no commitment.
So I ain't got to worry about being hurt no more.
All somewhere else. We got
Right.
But they're still going to be
That's
hurt
still on,
regardless.
we're still on this communication.
We're still talking about
they're still gonna
communication.
be hurt.
This the thing of it is though, but that no, we didn't go somewhere else because that's what will happen if there's no communication.
We were talking about the cons.
Right.
That's what we're talking about. The con.
cons.
The con
Yeah,
of the
the
going
cons.
back and
Right.
forth.
Right.
It will send you.
Somebody gonna
Okay,
break.
I'm gonna find what I need.
That's
but
it.
anyway, we have like 2 or 3 minutes left, and we just want to say thank you for joining us. And Precious, we
not her
pray.
name.
That's not her name.
That's not her name.
That is not her name. I just
But
want to
we're
say
praying for
when
her.
you write or unless you reveal yourself on our page, and you know that's the only way that you are known who you are. But other than that, when it's writing anything, it's not. We leave you anonymous.
Right.
You know,
Yes,
we don't
it's
use your name. It's
confidential.
confidential. We
Right.
don't say anything. But we just talk about it. But you know who we talking about.
Right.
Everybody else don't. But you know.
Right.
So we pray that we have really helped. The
Yes,
only thing
we
that
pray
we
for
can say is, you know, you have to find out, as what we say. You got to go back to the beginning. What brought you guys together? Is there still love? Because after a while, my sister said something that was true. You can't keep using the children as an excuse, but for so long. You know what I'm saying? Because the children are being affected in this at the end of the
Heavily.
day.
Yes,
The
they are.
back and
Heavily.
forth. Who are they going to when you guys separate? Are they going, hey, listen, are they going to the in-laws because y'all trying to get it? So now you pulling a lot, you know, it could be a lot of things going on here. And one thing, and I said also too, I had to learn for myself that I'm not talking to my girlfriend. How are you talking to him that he feels attacked? Because it sounds like he could feel attacked
And what time
or
are you talking to
defended.
him?
Somebody said timing. All of these things, you know, come into play. You know, but most of all, you know, where your love?
Where's the love? And remember,
The
children.
love.
The children can't communicate how they feel.
How they really feel.
If they're younger, they can't communicate how they really feel.
They really can't. So
Yeah.
just think about those things. And I know I can't, but you heard everything. Listen, even take some time. I even say this, sweetie. Go back over this video. Go back over this video, replay this, take some time for yourself and just sit. Because what you know what I do? A lot of times I go back and I replay this sometimes.
Yeah, I do.
I'll go back and replay this and just because we learn from each other too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
minister to
saying?
each
I
other.
learned from my sisters. I hear things that my sisters say too that can help me in my own marriage. So sometimes I sit in my bed and I go back and I'll just listen to the conversation, because guess what? While you're talking, sometimes you're not hearing really.
Right.
You're listening to each other, but we don't have time to hear each other because we're moving on to different topics and conversation and stuff like that.
Right.
But anyway, take some time and go. And guess what? At some point, listen to it with your husband if you can.
That would be good.
Both of you guys sit and listen. Let this show be the medium. Let it be a conversation piece. You know, listen to each other, okay? So, but anyway, thank you for joining us into the marital thinking room, y'all. The marital toolbox. Every Tuesday. What time, y'all? At 6 o'clock. At 6 to 7 p.m. And so just thank you. And we love you. And just thank you. And we love you because we love doing what we do, talking about these topics.
Yes.
So please submit questions. You can continue to submit them and write or whatever. Sometimes you can up to the last minute. Like this question was up at the last minute. This topic that was sent to me was at the last minute. So don't never feel like it's too late. But anyway, thank you for joining us.
Goodbye.
Bless you.
Bye. Bye.